All right, guys, welcome to the 12th of March, and you're getting a true recap. Let's go. Today we took a W, a small W, but a win is a win. This terrible. I'm gonna say it's a terrible trade because what the fuck is that percentage, you know? Anyway, let's get into the day. So basically, today was very, very scuffed. I was on site at work for pretty much the entire day up until past New York AM Open. So. Anyway, 8:30 a.m. we had unemployment claims. Okay. Ridicule Daily. I didn't get a picture of it, but let me just show you guys coming into the day. Obviously we still have that sweep. So we're kind of still long-termish bullish, like long, super long term. However, yesterday we failed to close above, so move lower. Failed to close through any of them, so we continue lower. Okay. Same thing here, right? Looking for bearishness. Okay. Cool. But yeah, hourly. Market trades lower, respecting 4-hour bearish gap, okay? And disrespecting the ranges bullish gap. So you disrespect this one, and then we're coming into this one, okay? But yeah, we're disrespecting them, and then we've just hit the 50% level of the range. So at the time, I was thinking price may tap into this gap, respect it, and move on higher, or you know, just continue moving lower, right? So I was like, there could be an expansion. 1 hour shows the same thing. So we have all of these bullish gaps through London being disrespected and run through, and we just have a massive decline. Okay, so here we kind of have London reversal near continuation-ish, right? Because London does go into a key level, which we'll talk about now. So we're not opening price. What does price do? Price moves higher before moving lower. Okay. And London session rallies into that 4-hour gap. Okay, so let me just show you guys. In the session, this is the 4-hour gap. Price does the rallying in. Okay. London session rallies hits into Fogo hitting a key level. Price is showing all signs to be bearish, but we are at the moment where this could also be the pivot point to result in higher prices. Okay. So New York AM Open, what do we have? New York market opens here. What does price do? It retraces back into a 5-minute gap. Okay. So market opens and there was a gap that we retraced into. We see price run a little bit higher, filling in a gap, and then consequently moving lower. Okay, so we just about fill in this gap, and then we have that large move lower. Given that we reached the 50% level, it is likely that we could continue lower, London reversal to high time frame level, and new continuation lower. Okay, so London reversed, moved higher into a high time frame level, the 4-hour bearish gap, and New York is going to continue lower. Now, this is my execution. It was a bit scuffed, but it seems like a rather rushed entry trade. However, we do get a sweep of liquidity, which was here. So we swept liquidity, and we have some 1-minute gaps that we want to retrace into. Okay, these are not in the premium range, right? Right. The only one that was in the premium range was this one, and I used the bodies, right, instead of the wick because this was like a very rampant candle. Even now looking, I was saying this could be a wrongful trade. Why? Because we do take out high time from liquidity and then we run into this 1-minute gap in which we see a little reaction of, okay? On the 15-minute low and then again a large displacement on the 1 minute after. Okay, this could be a retracement move before moving higher. One thing I'm not very happy about is the fact that I only risked a small point, right? I should have had two limits on. Sorry, two contracts. But price just ran in and just hit my limit, so I couldn't put another one down. I don't know how to put the other one down. I should do research. But yeah. However, it's fine. It's not that deep. TP is at the 15-minute bullish early gap, past the 50% level. Stop loss is a little bit higher than the Favelli gap. And I think in this case, I should have managed my stop loss a lot better. I should have put it here. But yeah, that's fine. I want to wait until the lows get displaced through with volume before moving my stop loss. I would like to move it now, but we'll keep it there for discipline. So this is what I was on about. So we have movement, bang. Okay, so I went for a little walk and then price did move down into this swing low. Okay, so my stop loss was at break even. And then what do we see? We have a 3-minute gap on ES, right? And I was interested in seeing that either get respected or disrespected. If it got disrespected, I'd be taking myself out. Okay. There was also a 5-minute gap that formed a couple minutes after. However, we see price just rallies on, and then I take myself out here. One bad thing I did is I took too long to take myself out. I was kind of praying in hopes that price would reverse lower and continue my direction, but it's not the right thing to do. Okay. So given today's trade, I'm not going to take another trade, which is exactly what I've done. I've not taken another trade, even though I can, given the risk I have on today, due to external circumstances, and I don't typically feel confident about this market right now. To me, it looks like a lower time frame consolidation before we run it into some form of a possible high time frame level. One thing I definitely learned is exit earlier. Do not bother waiting for the market to hopefully go your way. Take your profits and leave. And looking at the chart now, price would have hit my break even, which is good that I extracted myself out of the market with some profit, right? Even if it does move in my direction now, I wouldn't be sad about it. The point is I got my piece of the pie and I should be able to happily move on. My only next thing to acknowledge for the next trading session is to slow down a bit and assess your position. I could have had the ability to take a partial and have a run up, but that's fine. Once again, it's nothing to dwell on, right? I feel like I adapted very quickly. So we saw price moving lower from high time frame bearish gaps being respected, as well as the failure to close above previous day's candles, right? Good work on the adaptation, even though I wanted to see higher prices, right? And then this is just proof that I'm glad I got myself out because we would have been tanked. Okay. But yeah, just looking here, look at this price action. Not good. We have a large move down after London. But that was literally it for today. There was nothing more. On the hourly, we don't even reach into this gap. We reach into this one perfectly, to be fair. And then we have a continuation lower, which I'm gonna expect this 4-hour gap to be filled in. Okay. This 4-hour gap here to be tapped into. And then maybe tomorrow we can see high prices, but given the economic state of the world, the wars and all that stuff, it could just be inclined to just rally lower and possibly more cleanly take out these lows, as well as reach into a bunch of these daily gaps and filled. And then we have this massive weekly gap. Okay. A bit dramatic, but it's very possible. Very, very possible. Like an example is here, price moving on so high. We were like, there's no way it's gonna come back down. And what does it do? It comes back down and it rebalances all of this unmitigated price entries. Should have bang. Okay. So that's that on today. I'm really glad I got myself out because just look at the 5-minute after that, bro. Holy, this was like a mock kind of setup where we had a sweep. So the 1 hour get respected here. I like how price always baits people. Like they're like, oh, okay, it's gonna get respect, boom. Oh yeah, it's gonna get respect, boom. They like to bait and switch, bro. Bait and switch. But yeah, that was my trade. And then what was the look on here? I'm trying to see if I can. I think it was the 5-minute gap here where we had that massive displacement, and then I was just kind of looking at the actual candle itself. Yeah. So here. But yeah, price just zigzags. Zigzag. All right, that's that. I hope you guys learned from something. Once again, no back test. I'm gonna do it in my own time. And I'll see you lot tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.